Alrighty, it's been a minute since we last did a good solid Q&A session. I asked on my socials that you guys can ask me any questions shooting related, and today we're gonna get into our favorites. Before I start answering questions, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on, and there's gonna be a comment down below this video if you want to circumvent YouTube's filter against our right to freedom. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter so I send you an email the second we upload a new video. With that said, let's get into those questions, shall we? Do I use the same bullets for hunting as I do in competition? Yes, I do. Actually, this past week, 2 days ago, I shot 2 baboons using match bullet, and here's how that went for them. I'll show you the footage now. When is the 22 Creedmore coming out in rifles like Tika and Howa? Now, judging by your surname, Mr. van der Merwe, you are a South African. What we have to realize is when a new cartridge gets approved on like SAMI specifications, aka rifle manufacturers and ammo manufacturers can now start producing these rifles. It takes the manufacturing process quite a while to produce those rifles. Then they have to get imported into South Africa, where we lag yet again, and we're quite a small percentage of the global market, so it's likely going to be a while before we see those. We, for example, at Impact Pro Shop just got in a lot of 7 PRCs, so we have those in stock. If you wanted to swing by there and just look at them on my website, you could do that. We also have brass and dies. Our next question is in regards to zeroing a rifle. When zeroing a rifle, do you set your zero using max point blank range of a chosen ammo, or what's your recommended method? Guys, I always recommend to zero your rifle either 100 yards or 100 meters. Anything beyond that and you're building error of a little gust or a little shake into your system. We have modern optics, we have modern laser rangefinders that we can dial to the specific distance which we're engaging. I get that sometimes things happen really quickly and there's no chance to engage, but I'm not going to shoot an animal that is at 400 yards if I don't have the chance to range it. Also, probably the animal at 400 yards doesn't know that you're there, okay? And if it's at 100 yards or 120 yards, you probably don't need to range, and you can kind of eyeball that it's within your normal zero range, and just hit them.
Reload. Club that other one standing there. Reload. Club that other one there.
This question's a good one. You stated that you want to qualify for the World Cups in 2026. How is it going, and can you take us with you when training? Now, this specifically is referring to precision rifle or PRS. Now, in the beginning of the year, I kind of was like, yeah, I'd love to make the team for South Africa and go and shoot another PRS finale or the World Cup for that matter. And honestly, guys, I really enjoyed shooting a few I've actually shot 1 national match this year with like very little training. I showed up and I won quite convincingly. The problem with that is that doesn't really do it for me mentally. I really want to be super challenged. I actually felt like I didn't shoot to my best potential, and I still won by like almost a stage. So yeah, I don't know, that kind of takes the wind out of my sails in terms of motivation. So kind of on the fence whether I want to do that. Also, we have some mega projects we're taking on here at the business and in my personal capacity, so probably not going to be time to do that. Now, there was another question which somebody asked relating to precision rifle and training, and I don't really teach precision rifle that more on the channel, and that is purely because when I was like coming up through the ranks of the precision rifle scene, I did so many deep dive tutorials on precision rifle, and I kind of don't necessarily want to make old videos again because I have made those videos. So that's kind of why you see less precision rifle specific training, just because I kind of covered everything that I could cover in that sense, at least when I was super dedicated to that sport. What are your best tips for intermediate PRS shooter looking to take it up to the next step? Could you do more videos focusing on intermediate and advanced shooters? Well, that kind of ties in with my previous answer. My best advice, if you want super detailed, high-level stuff, is have a look at my precision rifle training. We have put hundreds, I think thousands of students through there. It is literally everything I know about precision rifle, how to use your bag, setting up your rifle, all of those kind of things is condensed into one course, and it is a game changer. So check that out. It is going to be probably the best investment you make in your shooting. So yeah, that is linked down below. What is the best rifle to get in South Africa? We often see this question, and guys, we really need more context to help you understand. Do you want to shoot competitions? Then 300 Win Mag's probably not the way to go. Do you want to shoot long range competitions? Then a 2506 is probably not the way to go. So there's quite a lot of context when it comes to choosing the right rifle. Is there such a thing as one rifle to do a little bit of everything? Yes, you can, but you're always going to compromise on one of the two ends. So more context is vital when it comes to a question like this. So keep that in mind. Be very specific about what you want to do with your rifle, and then on which end are you happy to compromise, because there will have to be a compromise if you want that one rifle to kind of tick a lot of boxes. We want to see you hammer a Cape Buffalo with your shy tag. Don't make us wait too long. Now guys, I've just returned from my buffalo hunt. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. Spoiler alert. So there's not going to be a Cape Buffalo video just yet. We hiked 4 days in rough weather, very, 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 very cold conditions, and we were unable to locate the big bull that we were after. We did come across the females in like very close proximity, like 20 meter, 15 meter type stuff. Tell you what, it gets the heart going. So we'll be back and attempt 2.0 on the Cape Buffalo probably before the end of the year still, so hold thumbs on that. Another reloading question, what do I do differently when I'm reloading for a bolt gun versus a gas gun? Now, pretty much nothing. I try and keep my reloading as simple as possible. I have proven steps that I follow to produce freaking world-class ammo. A lot of guys, you know, there's so much reloading info on YouTube. This guy says do that. Eric Cortina says we have to full size. Agree with Eric. You know, so-and-so says you have to gas anneal. This guy says you have to induction anneal. This guy says you don't have to anneal. This guy says neck size only. There's so many different methods on YouTube. What I've done is I have shot thousands and thousands and thousands of rifle bullets, okay? I had to figure out what works. The least amount of work to produce the best amount of ammo. And then as a bonus, what I did for you guys, because YouTube is super sensitive with how deep we can get into the reloading thing. Also, it's impossible to track all the different types of videos on YouTube. So what I did is I said, let me put all of these things in a course. It's easy for you guys to follow. That is also linked down below, or I'll have a QR code here somewhere. Again, the feedback on those have been incredible. So if you're looking to produce world-class ammo, our reloading course is for you, I can guarantee it. What are the limitations of the 6-dasher with regards to range and size of target animal? I'm assuming you're referring to knockdown power of the dasher. Basically, I want to know if there are any benefits of getting a 270. There are zero benefits to getting a 270. Let me just answer that. Or, lol, everybody that has a 270, you get one. Yours is fine. Just don't, new people don't. Or 7 PRC for pest control purposes on deer size and down compared to the 6-dasher. Deer size and down, the 6-dasher is going to do everything you need it to do. Mostly people that do pest control aren't shooting grizzly bears for pests. It's usually small little coyote type creatures. I've shot so many baboons with my dasher. It takes down animals and antelope perfectly fine. So you're going to be good to go with a dasher. I think those other two cartridges are vastly overboard for the type of shooting you want to be doing. So if you want a dasher and you needed the green light to get a dasher, you are not going to regret it. They're awesome. Now, South Africa guys, we have some custom stuff coming in where we will have some dashers and things available, or components that you can build one. So I'll mention that in a future video. Don't spam us at the office. They're not here yet. We're waiting for the police, but when they are, I'm gonna let you know. Also make sure you're on my mailing list so that you know when I know. Super. Which one would you choose for hunting? 6.5 PRC or 6.5 Creedmore in South Africa? I'd probably lean towards a PRC, to be honest. Just a little bit more knocking power gives you that little bit of margin for error in case you have a shot that moves slightly on target. The fact that you're landing potentially 156 grain projectile at the same speed as a Creedmore just gives you a little bit more knocking power, and you can't overkill a smaller animal. So if you want the opportunity to shoot up to something like an eland or something like that, the 6.5 PRC is going to be good to go. So that's kind of what my recommendation would be on that. Ooh, a Sherman question. Yes, baby. Have you ever built a short barrel 7SS? I'm very interested in the Sherman Magnums for hunting. Now, the Sherman Magnums are a line of cartridges developed initially by Rich Sherman, and the company has since transferred ownership to my buddy Derek Webster from DI Precision. Now, long story short, the Sherman cartridges are freaking awesome, and I have got a ton of them. And to answer your question, yes, I have built a short barrel 7SS, and this is part of the rifles that are coming into South Africa very shortly. So we will see a short barrel SS on the channel, and I personally cannot wait for that rifle. It's going to be a laser beam. Are you ever going to do an Alaskan hunt? Oh, that sounds awesome. One of my sort of bucket list things is to see the Northern Lights one day, so if I could kind of do both, that would be awesome. What rifle and caliber are you taking for grizzlies, moose, and mountain goat? Now, I'm not sure about the sort of knockdown power we need for grizzlies and stuff. As you guys know, I'm not an expert in all things shooting, but I try and do my homework as much as I can. But I would probably think that those kind of shots would be longer sort of engagements. You guys know how I feel about shooting animals at extended ranges. Given that that might potentially be the case, I'd probably look at something like a heavy 7mm, like a 7SS. But if I'm going to be flying over to another side of the world, I'd probably look at something where I could also get factory ammo in a pinch. So I'd probably lean towards something like 7 PRC or something like that. Give me some nice weight, maybe in 300 PRC for something like that. Shooting a big animal at 400 or 500 yards, a little bit more grain in your bullet is going to give you that knocking power that you potentially need. I don't like looking for animals after I shoot them, guys. I want them to drop in their tracks. So yeah, probably some 7mm variant, realistically, or even a 300 Wisdom WSM. That could also be a cool one. Right, cool reloading question. How do I select bushing sizes with Reading Type S bushing dies? Now, I've done a complete video on how to select a bushing die. You can literally type that into Google, hit search, and my video should pop up there. If not, hit impact shooting and you'll see my video, a simple guide how to select a bushing. Okay, it's not that difficult. If you're still finding inconsistencies with your reloading, getting something like the APW Expander Mandrel set I just heard that this weekend from the guys in hunting camp. Few guys had bought them and they said it made the world of difference in their reloading ability. I'm going to have a QR code for the people watching on the TV if you want to pick up one of those. They are phenomenal, and it just, every now and again when you're seating bullets and you have that one going in a little bit too tight, that basically eliminates that. So that's been a game changer in my reloading, and literally hundreds or if not thousands of people using expander mandrels. Yeah, so potentially look at that if the bushing still feels like it's not doing exactly what you need it to do. It's also worth noting that the bushing controls the outside diameter of that case neck. Any imperfections on the inside will still be present when you're seating your bullet. So the expander mandrel controls the inside diameter of your neck of your case, and that is the important diameter to worry about. If someone is looking to upgrade their powder dispenser, would you recommend going for the Matchmaster or moving towards the Super Trickler? Now, I've owned the auto tricklers, V1, V2, V3, V4, okay, and I own the Super Trickler, which is off to the side there. I never use my Super Trickler anymore. I run Matchmasters and they are awesome. Matchmasters are from RCBS and they are really cool. They're really quick. I actually have 2 of them, so I never have to wait for a scale. So because we do, like, I load sometimes 800 rounds in one shot. So time is money, and 2 scales has been a really good decision for me. So the Matchmaster, I just use the Matchmaster now. They're great. Rebarreling a Howa in South Africa. Local or international barrel? Well, it depends what you can get. The proven brands, Krieger, Bartline, those kind of brands have really good track records for a reason. However, there are really good local manufacturers too. It depends on what you can get. Something to consider is the cost of a new barrel and the cost of the gunsmithing fees to rebarrel said rifle, and the paperwork involved to rebarrel said rifle might outweigh the potential of just buying a brand new Howa and then throwing your old one away. Well, not throwing it away, but you know what to do with the old one. You give it to the police or you lose it in a boating accident. Kidding. That would be a problem for the police too. So yeah, potentially cheaper to just buy a new rifle, especially in our country. And I say that as somebody that has a gunsmithing business where we can do all the work for you. You will get better accuracy with said new aftermarket barrel, highly likely. Where can we build a custom rifle like the ones you use in South Africa? Well, the beautiful rifles you see behind me in their MDT chassis dripping with swag. I import myself from the US. As I said earlier in the video, we do have a shipment of actions and barrels coming from overseas. So soon at Impact Pro Shop, we'll have custom rifles ready to go, or configuration options where you could basically choose your cartridge, choose your barrel, and we can put something together for you. If you want to get in touch, you can send an email to gunsmith@impactproshop.net to get an idea of what something like that would cost. 300 Win Mag or 300 PRC? That is a no-brainer. If you're buying a new rifle, I would encourage you to buy a 300 PRC. This horse has been beaten to death. The new bullets, the new SAMI spec, longer bullets, okay, seated out optimally. The 300 PRC is going to give you better factory ammo results. There's nothing wrong with the 300 Win Mag, except all the things that are wrong with it when they designed it back in 1946. John asks a really good question here, guys. Thoughts on the new Browning 270 with a 1 in 7.5 twist rate instead of the traditional 1 in 10? Now, 270s have often been limited for years, and that's kind of been the Achilles heel, is that with the advancement of modern ballistics, we now have these like 135 grain 25 caliber bullets, which ballistically are pretty freaking spicy. And you can't shoot those lacquer in the old ones. So assuming you have a custom chamber where you can seat these optimally, I think that's pretty cool. The danger, however, is to stay within the SAMI specification of 270. They might have used an older reamer where you still have to seat these bullets in too deep, in which case you're sacrificing optimal accuracy and powder capacity. So it depends on what kind of chamber those have in. If you have the ability to recut a 270 chamber and maybe, or just run a throater through it and make that a little bit longer so you can seat those bullets optimally, I think you're onto something. Could work. Now guys, this is probably the coolest thing I'm busy with at the moment. It is going to be a very long-term project. Tell us more about the 416 long distance project. Now, about a year and a half ago, I went to Namibia and we shot 4 kilometers. And I think I hit it on like shot 8. My buddy hit it on shot 7. And statistically, you know, hit probability grows. This is something we need to understand. If your rifle shoots a group like this at 100 meters, at 200 meters it'll be double, at 400 meters it's going to be double that. So all of a sudden, when you start getting out to 4,000 meters, okay, all of a sudden your 100 meter group is 40 times bigger, okay? So now you're shooting a fridge, effectively, okay? Having said that, the variabilities over this shot, the muzzle velocity difference between shot 1 and the next shot, like the ES number or the standard deviation number, excuse me, or a little gust in the wind, all of a sudden your group size opens up to the size of a truck, right? So for us to hit it like relatively easily, there was a lot of luck involved. Now, my buddies want to see if we can break the world record for the longest shot on steel. Not an official record, this is just messing around. The messing around world record. We call ourselves the king of amateurs, okay? So we want to basically build a monster gun, have some kind of way to look around the barrel, because when you dial up so much or you start using prisms, you actually look into the end of your barrel. So it obscures your sight picture completely. So you need a way to get off the side of your gun. We have that sorted. We're thinking of building a 416 Hellfire and starting to walk our way out, okay, from 4 kilometers all the way to 7.8. Realistically, it would be, we'd have to double the distance, okay? Now, the statistical hit probability goes down to a number that is not favorable, but we're still going to try, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to document this for YouTube. And if we don't achieve it, we don't achieve it, but it's not going to be for a lack of trying. So that is what's going on with that project. It's going to be super cool, but realistically probably a 2.5-year process, because just sourcing the action to build that kind of rifle with is not easy. We have actually got actions on the way from the US, but getting the right barrel, the right length, getting a chassis for this thing, yeah, there's going to be a lot of components involved, and then we have to build it, and then we have to export it to a neighboring country in order to do that shot. So yeah, it'll be fun, and we're going to document it here. Question from Will. Your reloading course, is it beneficial for someone that does not have all the top end products, or is it more is it friendly for somebody with budget friendly equipment? Well, so in my course, even though I have the high end stuff for the keen observers for a few weeks now, no, maybe even a month or two, the Gen 2 Zero Press has been on there and I've been using it a lot. In my reloading course, I was using that Big Pos press that's over there. I feel it's important to note that you don't need all the best equipment in the world. You need a good process. And then once you've got that dialed in, then you can start leveling things up and taking care of little things or buying more expensive things like this Gen 2 Zero for the convenience factors that it offers. Like, look at all the dies that's set up on that thing. Like, that's super convenient instead of having to set up your dies the whole time. So it's reasons for that why I feel like people upgrade to equipment like that. No, you don't need all the best stuff to do our reloading course. The process is so important, and that's really what we focus on there. Now, speaking of the Gen 2 Zero Press, it has been there for a while. I've loaded a couple of hundred bullets, probably almost 1,000 brass and bullets that I've prepped and loaded on there. Video on that soon. I feel it's I can't actually believe this, I'm saying this, and I have some teachers that taught me at school that would laugh. But it's my journalistic duty, okay, as a firearms journalist / influencer dude on the interwebs, to not make a video the day I get that and say, hey, here's the new Gen 2 Zero Press, it's freaking awesome, okay? I have integrity in what we do on this channel, and that's why I often try and have things long before they come out, so that when they come out, I've had it for a few months. This was not the case here, so I did get this for free. I'm going to load a bunch of bullets more on it, and then I'm going to let you guys know what I think of it. But so far, initial impressions, surprise, surprise, it's freaking awesome. What happened to your Land Cruiser build? Jock, good to see you in the comments, China Bean. So my Land Cruiser build, yeah, for those that don't know, I have a 1982 Land Cruiser FJ60 like you see in the terminal list that I've been restoring for what is now 3 years. A lot has happened with this build. It's still in the process, can you believe it? It is shockingly bad, the company I've been dealing with. And my motor got sent away to have some work done on it. The engineering firm basically shut down. They sold all their stuff. There was a criminal case and the guy's been arrested because my motor was stolen in the process. So it's been a nightmare, to answer your question, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully we're driving it before the end of the year. Otherwise, I might just sue the people that is doing it for me, because it's been a nightmare and a money pit, as you can imagine. Guys, this next question is my favorite question, probably not the most insightful question for you in terms of learning stuff to implement in your own shooting. But Jason, I thought this question was pretty awesome. Your house is on fire. You can only grab 3 firearms while running out. Which 3 do you grab and why? So number 1 will probably be my Glock 19. Okay, so while my house is on fire, I am outside, I can still protect myself and my family. Okay, so my Glock 19. No question about that. Although, do I grab it if I was already wearing it? I don't know. Let's go for Glock 19 as one of them. Next is probably going to be my Dasher. Okay, I absolutely love this gun. It is my bread and butter gun, and I've got a real soft spot for my Dasher. And honestly, I think the last gun I might grab is probably the little 22 Creedmore you guys see behind me. This past week I was shooting that a lot. Man, I love that rifle. And this is potentially a precursor of what's to come on the channel. Guys, I love small cartridges. They're fun to shoot. They're hyper accurate. You can shoot them all day long. Okay. So there will be a lot more of that sort of content coming. 25 Creed, 22 Dasher, a lot of these little cool things that I'm working on. I absolutely love the 22 Creed. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace and love. And please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Bye.